We made it.
Yes.
We made it. And it was all me, everybody. It was all me.
You
Y'all
could have
might have
told
thought,
me it was me. You could have
might have
said, "Oh,
thought
she got off a plane. She was tired.
I
I
wouldn't.
had to wake her up."
I wouldn't dare do you like that. Absolutely not. It was all me. When y'all get in here, I got to tell y'all this little piece of story. I know somebody is gonna see it. They're gonna probably call it out. Somebody might even hit my line about it. And I can promise you that I see it. I know.
It's fine. It's fine. Look, I'm gonna
But
do this.
we're gonna let you guys come on into the chat so that we can talk about Irresistible Intern.
I can't
So
wait. I've
y'all,
been waiting on this all month.
and I want you guys to come on in and say hello to us. So when you get here, just put a little something in the chat. Hey Sam, how you doing, girl? So we got you here. I know some others watching, but y'all be kind of shy. I don't know why.
It's
Cause
fine.
I get shy sometimes. I don't understand it. So y'all make sure y'all come in so that we can start talking with Miss Man and
All right.
delve into the EyeCU Reading and Social Network book selection for the month of May 2023. Y'all come on in the room. It's Sunday. So
That's a hymnal.
yeah,
That's
it's Sunday. So I had to give
that's how
y'all
we have to get down.
mm-hmm.
Keep
Mm.
going, don't touch us.
Oh.
The doors of the church is open.
Listen, with the day I didn't had, I'm probably gonna have to minister to myself when we get off this line because
That's right.
woo
That's
child. You
do
see
some
what was happening.
ministering. Do
Oh,
some
okay.
God,
Hey
do it,
y'all.
God,
Hey
God,
Ebony. Hey Rena. So ladies, we were just, chit-chatting and everything. Now before we got on the line, I know we got here a couple minutes late. But let me tell you why really quickly, because it's important to me that I just kind of acknowledge it. Um, Even though Eliza has been super understanding and sweet about it. So yeah, there's this little icon in the corner of the page. It's a book, and it's not the book that we're talking about today. Okay, we talked about that last month, but we're not talking about that book today. Okay, we're not talking about that author. We're not talking about that book. I have no idea how I got it on there, and I don't know how to get it off. Okay, so I think I'm really telling my age here. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
They don't know you 21, right? 20.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. 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 Everybody on the chat celebrated my 40th with me, but hey, yeah,
That's
yeah.
okay. They just
We're
celebrate
going with 21.
21st today. Right.
So I want to acknowledge with you all that we are in fact here to discuss Irresistible Intern by Aliza Mann. Disregard anything else that you may see in the background. It is
That's right.
inaccurate and it's all my fault. I got some learning to do, some Googling, some YouTubing, all of that. Yep.
Okay.
She's wondering what was going on. Yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. Hey Mo. Hey Tina. How y'all ladies doing tonight? Glad to see you. So we've chit-chatted for a little while and we got some clarity on the book that we are going to be discussing on this evening, The Irresistible Intern. And our author for this evening is the most wonderful, gracious Aliza Mann. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. This is awesome. I love talking to readers. It's amazing. So thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. I'm going to start off by just saying that we are appreciative that you have been present on the page for this month and answering the questions about yourself and all of that good stuff. But just in case we have some watchers who didn't have an opportunity to see some of it, why don't you tell us a little something about yourself?
All right. So I am Eliza Mann. I've been writing Oh my goodness. My first publication came out in 2012. I write contemporary and paranormal romance, and I live in Detroit, Michigan. And I'm allergic to maraschino cherries, which I found out on this trip. So
Oh, what happened?
I was, so I drink a little bit, a lot of it, and I was out with my friends, and I knew when I was a kid I couldn't eat like maraschino cherries. Well, I ordered an old fashioned. It's supposed to be these special cherries that are like super dark and super sweet. Well, the Hyatt put in maraschino cherries, and it wasn't just like they dropped it in a glass; they like muddled it. So I'm so I'm literally sitting at a book signing, like having a full on allergy attack. Like, oh my God, I'm not gonna make
Oh,
it was awful.
oh,
So yeah, so I'm just glad to be here, and I'm glad like things cleared up because I was like blotchy and red, and oh my God. So it
oh,
was an ordeal, but I had the best time. So I'm not even gonna complain about the allergic outbreak. So yes, that's something new to know about me. I'm allergic to maraschino cherries. It's the dye because maraschino cherries are actually white and they dye them red. So it's the dye in it that
oh.
I'm to. Yeah, you learn something new every day.
You better teach on this good Sunday evening.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
amen. So
That's
yeah.
okay then. Well, so sorry for the
Oh,
allergic reaction, but you look beautiful.
oh, thank you
You,
so
you
much. I'm
look
just
great
glad
on
you
this evening. You
read.
cleared up sky. You look amazing. Okay.
Thank you, thank you. I appreciate you so much. I'm trying to keep up with y'all. I saw all you beautiful ladies all month long on the page, and I was like, this is just an amazing group. So I am so
Oh,
glad to
good.
be here, and I'll be staying around. So very happy to be a part of it.
Awesome. So Sam is the person in our book club who selected your book for this month. And as you can see, she's really glad that she picked it and enjoyed it. I
Oh,
too am glad that she picked it and I enjoyed it as well. I it's always it's always a pleasure when we get to read books from other Detroiters because of course
yes,
we are Detroit based.
yes.
And so when we get a chance to support the home team, that's always great. And it is a really good book. I mean,
Oh,
well
thank
written.
you.
Um, just
Thank you.
yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 acrylic nails, honey.
Oh, thank you, thank you,
I
thank you.
did. I
I
did. I was
appreciate
gonna tell
you.
you again, but I just felt that on my spirit to tell you right now. So
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you so much. I
I gave that
appreciate it.
bad boy a 5. And let me tell you, I ain't really crazy about romance
Yeah.
novels,
Mhm.
and especially when they don't be hunching that much.
Well,
But
my editor was like, "Are they gonna?" So about part of the way through, she sent me a text message. She was like, "Are they gonna do it, or you just messing with me? Like, why? Why are you like? They should have been already. Like, I'm like, girl, it's just
I
the
be
character. The
listen when I
character
see
pushed me to
erotica or
go.
romance. I honestly I be wanting my hunching in like chapter 2. But baby, we got that sucker at the end, and I mean, and
The
after
very
I
end.
got done, I was like, wait a minute. They only did it one time, but I was in that thing.
He,
You understand
he
me? I was
really
enthralled. Like I was on some, huh, where's what happened? And then it
got
finally
it
happened. I was like,
in.
whew.
Well,
And
he
you
was
wrote
a
it
full
well. You
liar.
wrote it so well.
Thank
So
you. Thank
that
you so
helped as
much.
well.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, it was a slow burn for sure. I think it might have been like my first slow burn. Because normally it goes a little earlier. I do have some books that don't have any. I'll warn you ahead of time before you if you ever pick up one that doesn't have any.
You got you
But
tell Ebony that. Now see, because I don't necessarily have to have a hunching. But if the hunching is supposed to be there,
well, it's romance. I think people expect the hunching, especially if the dude ain't got no shirt. Like if his whole area is out, I think the expectation is the hunching will be there. You
yes,
know,
the irresistible in the title. You see,
exactly. It was a lot of cues that I was like, but he was a whole lie. Would you have felt a way like
he a whole
he was
lot.
lying
Never
and he did it with her, and he was lying. When you have been like, oh, he can't come back from that, right?
I okay, so let me tell you
Okay.
what I always plan to do when I have my interviews. I
Okay.
have a plan in my head that we're going to talk about certain things first, and then we're going
Okay.
to gravitate into the book.
Let
And
me
then
back
that's what I
myself in.
always do. I always go straight into the book, talking about specific details, everything before I really meant to. And next thing you know, we been talking about the book, and it's 7:20, and we still got a whole 40 minutes to go.
And it was me. That was on me. Completely on me. I came in hot. So let me slow it down. Let me act like I know how interviews go. So
Came in hot too. I came in hot too. So,
it was the
huh,
lack of hunching. I fully blame
mm,
this situation on. So
yeah, yeah, it'll do that. You know what I'm saying? It makes you delirious a little bit
it
when,
was
yeah, can't think straight.
exactly. Everybody had lady blue balls. So, that's how.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
let me go back to what I was.
Okay, let's walk it back. We're walking it.
Okay,
All right.
so we have established that it was a really well written book. Enjoyed it so much. Becoming an author.
Mm-hmm.
How did you become an author? Because again, like I said, it's really a great book, and I'm
Yeah.
curious how you got to be as good as you are.
Well, I wasn't as when I first started, I didn't know nothing. When I first started, let me take you all the way back. When I was a little girl, I used to make up stories. I would like tell my mom stories, I tell my dad stories, and they was like, oh my gosh, she is like this, is this kid okay? Because I was like the one who would like stay in the house all summer reading books. I was the one, and my siblings are all like cool. My brother was like a football player, my sister's like a beauty queen, like they were like outdoorsy interactive people. And I was like, no, I just want my books. So I started making up stories with my best friends. And we would do it on the phone. We would, every day after school, we would rush home with a new part to our story. And we did that for years. I went to college. My mom was like, authors don't make any money. And I was like, what? I was like, no, no, let me time out. I like stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and, go to business school. I'm gonna go, I didn't know at the time, but I ended up working in healthcare. And I was just miserable. Like
Mhm.
completely miserable. One day my guy said to me, why are you so mad all the time? I'm like, I don't know. And he was like, you need a hobby. I was like, well, I used to write when I was a kid. He was like, do that again so you can like cheer up. So I
Oh,
sat down, I wrote a short story, and there was like this online journal, Revere Online African American Journal, and I submitted the short story. It was about it was an African tale, and she was supposed to be the town witch doctor, and she didn't want to, so she kind of like helped another person through like a difficult time, and so that's how I was like, I'm gonna submit it. I'm gonna see what happens. And they published it. And then I was bitten by the writing bug. Like forever. I was
mhm.
like, I never not want to write again. And while I still have my day job, I do
Uh-oh.
is that me?
On my end, it went.
Can you see me now?
I can see you now. Yep.
Okay. I was like, did I freeze? Or where did I leave off?
Okay, so you were saying that you still were working your day
Yeah.
job. That was to be
Okay.
the last guy.
Okay, sorry about that. I got AT&T. They janky. But so yeah, I never stopped. I have 10 published works. I think one of them is out of print now. And I just really, really love it. I love the readers. I love sitting down, coming up with stories. I like where my characters take me. So that's really how I started. And there's some ups and downs with writing, especially with Black authors, like we have a hard way to go. sometimes. So it is sometimes it's painful, but I just love it. So I don't think I'll ever stop.
Well, good.
Yeah.
So some of those pitfalls that are specific to the Black authors. What
Hmm.
what are some of those?
So we have probably about 2015 or 16. Um, someone uh, noted the lack of diversity in romance. We were at a Romance Writers of America conference, and we have been talking about, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Piper Hewley. Don't quote me because I could be, getting older, that memory. But she said, if there were a Black winner of the Reader Award, hell would freeze over, something to that effect. And we all Black girls were like, yep. Because we had never, even though RWA, Romance Writers of America, was established by Vivian Stevens, who is an editor, a Black editor, to fill the kind of to be like the voice of the cause for romance writers. She was a Black lady. She's still alive. They still did not represent Black women in the way that they represented white women. And I won't just say Black women, it was a lot. And at the time, self-publishing was not what it was now. So we have like some really great self-published authors that are Black now. Most of us are hybrid. So we have traditional and self-published works.
Mm-hmm.
But during that time, that was not there. So we were just out here trying to get our work published, get our work into the hands of readers. Not that I don't mind everyone reading my book, but I write for Black women. I write for Black women. I want Black women to see themselves in loving relationships and not just, these traumatic, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't always have to be trauma. People tell me, oh, Eliza, you write like Hallmark movies. And I'm like, I like that. Like, I want to see us, be in those goofy, silly, stories where it's like, this would probably never happen, but it's awesome. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I want us to be the object of desire. That's not always the way the world wants to see us. So it's harder for us to get those types of stories told.
And I'm glad you shared that. And it's interesting that you compared, your writing to the Hallmark,
Hmm.
movies and stuff like that. One, there clearly is a niche for it because they have a whole channel.
Right.
Okay. And who doesn't look forward to like the Christmas,
Exactly, exactly.
year?
Kelly Rowland has one that I love. Kelly Rowland has one that I love. It's Merry Little Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I watch all of them, and I watch them, and every year before another one comes out, I watch them all again. So you can tell I'm like heavily influenced by like these kind of love light, right? Like no trauma, um,
Yeah.
and easy to like slip
It's
into.
soft. It's
Yeah,
soft. And
yeah,
we're allowed to have soft stories about
yes,
ourselves because everybody doesn't have those traumas in their
hmm,
lives,
right,
and everyone
right.
doesn't want to involve themselves in reading that type of stuff. We like Hallmark too.
Yeah, we like Hallmark. I love urban fiction too, though. I think it's room for all of us. I just want us to have that variety, right?
Yeah.
You get to see yourself, you get to imagine yourself however you want for the day. You might go back to urban tomorrow, a little Hallmark here, a little historical there. It's nice to see ourselves across the gamut. So
That
that's
is
what I'm trying to do.
That
Yeah.
is me for sure. I want a little piece of everything. I don't always read the same stuff all the time. And so I'm glad that you said that. And when I did my review of your book,
Mhm.
I said that I was like, it's giving rom-com vibes. It's giving 90s Morris Chestnut and Vivica A. Fox. I want to see it on the screen vibes. Like,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
what I
Thank you so much.
thank you. Like, I enjoyed it so
I love it.
much. And they didn't even hunch for one time at the end.
When no hunches in the 90s. It was. I'm kidding. I'm
It was,
kidding.
it was, it was some hunching.
It was,
So
yeah.
child, I enjoyed it. Now Tina wrote that she and Sam actually met you at Beverly Jenkins' birthday event last summer. Was that on the boat?
That was on the boat. That was the birthday party because it was supposed to be 2 years ago, but
Uh-oh. If you can hear me, you froze up on my end. I'm not sure if
okay, am I back?
you
Girl,
are
this ain't TNT. I'm gonna put my hotspot on in a minute. If it do it one more time, I'm gonna put my hotspot on. We were and hi Tina, hi Samara. We were at in Detroit at Miss Bev's. I think it was supposed to be the 70th, but it was late because of the pandemic, obviously. So we got to spend some time together, and that was so much fun. Like Miss Bev is my mentor, like in my heart. She is just a wonderful person, and she opened her family up to me because when you get to go there, you're like a family member. So I just love Miss Jenkins. So and I love everybody that I met there. So hey Tina, hey Samira, it's good to see you guys again.
she is. I actually was there. I wasn't there for the whole weekend. I popped in and ate. Just
I didn't get to meet you in person.
I
Oh,
cause
next time, y'all. Next
I
time
came
we'll have
came in and ate. It's like, all right, bye.
like see you
I should
later.
have said that. I should have
Bye,
said
everybody. That is okay. I mean, not we can't stay for everything all the
that.
time.
Well,
You
but in
made
the time that I was there, she was just so down to earth and so
it.
just approachable and knowing that she is who she is in the literary world is it's refreshing to see her engage with
Whole queen. She a
her
whole
readers
queen.
and other authors the way that she does. So
Yeah, I met her I was at one of the RWA conferences and I was nervous. It was like my first or second conference. And I was like, you have no business being here. Like you get that imposter syndrome in your head. And it's like people like Nora Roberts, Beverly Jenkins, Brenda Jackson rolling around that place. And you're like, my God, why am I even in the same room? I went out and sat down beside Miss Jenkins. And I knew who she was, but I was like, that can't be her, like just sitting here. Like, that's that's not her. So I got up on there, I saw her, and I'm like, I'm so nervous. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. And she was like, how you doing? And from there, we struck up a conversation. She just made me feel like I belong,
that's
and I hope one day I can do that for another author too. So
I have a feeling that you probably already are and maybe don't even know it because you got that energy. Sam is in here talking about your energy right now. That
oh,
she
thank
met you
you.
with you
Thank
still
you.
have. So you already did it. You just don't know maybe exactly who it was that you did it for. I
I
can tell.
hope so. It's a hard job, but I want all of us that want to write stories, I want us to just put them out there, in whatever medium. And now it's so much better for us because, like Miss Vassar, Joan Vassar is incredible, right? And I don't, first of all, the Black series, but the first one I read was Francine, unfortunately, Francine threw
Okay,
me
okay, I'm
away.
back. I'm
Throw
back.
me away. I was like,
Tell you a story
what?
about the black. I'm gonna tell you a story about the Black series, and it's gonna take 2 seconds. But you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was I was reading, I was like, who wrote this? Like, this is so like I couldn't like put it down. I'm like, maybe that was a novella because it felt short, but I don't think it was a novella. It was just mind blowing, and I couldn't step away. I was like, this woman, I got to read everything she got, and did because
So,
she's just amazing, right?
little story about her, right?
Mhm.
I meet her at National Book Club conference, which we're gonna talk about that. Are you going to National Book Club conferences
I
yet?
didn't know it was happening. I meant
Girl,
to
we're gonna
ask you.
we're
Okay.
gonna get you some information about it
All right.
offline because
Thank
it's
you.
it's the place to be, honey.
All
Your your
right.
your book would fit
Okay.
that's the place for you.
Cool.
Okay, so we get to National Book Club conference. Joan is at the bookstore. She ringing folks out. Lady say, "Hey, she done wrote a book. It's right here." I said, "She did. Let me get
Let
that
me
book.
get it.
Let me get that book."
Oh,
Okay, Black. This is when Black
Yes.
was a book, standalone one book, last
Mm-hmm.
book, and sits on my shelf for a little while. I said, oh, I'm about to read this book,
That's how
and
we
I'm
do.
like, it got some slaves or something in it, and I love like historical
I
fiction,
do too. I
and
do too.
they always talk about me. I gotta have a slave in my book, so I was like, man, I'm about to read this.
Yeah.
Baby, it blew my mind, and I came
It's
back. I said,
amazing.
y'all, this book right here. If I don't put my stamp of approval on nothing else, I'm gonna put this on this book right here. They was just like, oh my God, Tamara, oh my God. And your good friend Tina, after she read that book, she became Joan's biggest fan.
I
All in her inbox, all on her page. And it has now grown and became what it is.
the
And
fort and
I just
beyond. Yes.
listen, I just be so happy to see our black authors
Thriving.
thrive in the way that they do. Oh, it's just so wonderful.
I cannot tell you black I'm gonna tell you something. I never met a black author I didn't like. And I've met some authors I didn't like. I've never met a black author that I didn't like. Every time I'm the one usually likes my hunching up front. Okay, I'm gonna take care of you, Ebony. But yeah, I read that series so fast because I was late. I was late to the party. I read Unfortunately Francine, and I think it was right before Elbert came out. Right before Elbert came out. And I was just like
Right.
devouring it. Like it was wild. Loved it. Loved it. Tina, you heard.
Tina's her editor.
Oh my God. You doing the thing, honey. I love those books. And I don't read books all the time, right? So I don't read books straight through all the time. So to say that I sat there and read it and ignore my own books calling me and work, and she is the bomb.
I understand. I understand.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we done gave all of these other amazing authors who are
Yes,
writing in your
yes.
same genre some love. And so now we about to give yours some love. We
Okay.
that's what we about to talk about. It's time, baby. It's time
Let's
to talk
yeah.
about the irresistible intern.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so part of Ebony's comment,
Hmm.
she at the end she says, "Can you tell us what inspired this storyline?"
So I was writing in the Cocky Hero Club world. And yeah, so the Cocky Hero Club is it's a collection of authors. It started back when Cocky Gate went down. I don't know if y'all heard about that. Some author was trying to copyright the name Cocky. And everybody uses the word cocky. So to be messy, the women, Penelope Ward, they were like, no, we're going to have a whole series called Cocky, right? The Cocky Hero Club. So they opened up their world and allowed us to write into it. So we picked they invite authors to come in. We pick our favorite story. And my favorite story was similar to this book. The guy Dex is actually from the other series, from her book, Penelope and Vi Keelan. So I was technically inspired by that because it had to be like a similar plot set in the world and all of that. And during the pandemic, I was like trapped in the house and I'm like, oh my God, I can't get like motivated. So I actually was just kind of exploring, the idea of millionaires and what's a different type of millionaire and how would I want to meet a millionaire. So it came from that series, but it's wildly different because, he really is kind of a geek. He's not like a alpha hero. He's not, you know what I mean? He's kind of like a cinnamon roll. I never read a cinnamon roll before. So I was inspired by that series, but I put my own little spin on it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was curious about the Cocky Hero Club. I said I see all of these different, book covers and they have that stamp on there. So
Mhm.
I understood it was probably a collection of novels and it looked like it was different authors and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So
yeah,
I'm glad that you told us
yeah.
about that.
Fun though. It was a lot of
So I feel like right now I just want to kind of, just talk about who I liked,
fun. Okay,
who I didn't like.
Okay, that's
And um surprisingly,
hmm
I I liked everybody.
You did?
Even Caleb, oh Mac Burger Tail. I
Lying
still
ass.
like him.
With his lying ass.
Lying.
I was like, I can't believe you lying.
In my head, I'm like, sir, how you gonna get out of this? Not where you thought this was going? How?
He thought he was
What
smart
they gonna
though.
do
He
for
thought it
you
was
to like have to like come with your tail tucked between your legs? Like, oops, my bad.
yeah,
There,
yeah.
there wasn't anything else that you were gonna be able to do.
Mm-hmm.
But in spite of that, I still liked him. I did. Like
He's
that's
kind of
where the whole
endearing.
Hallmark rom-com part comes in. Cause I'm like, in reality,
Mm-hmm.
this is not ever going to happen. But
So
it was so nice to read though.
thank you. I'm glad you like that. My editor was like, girl, you gotta stop. Like you can't. So she went in originally. She went in, like she went hard, like went off. And she was like, that is not the tone of this book. You're gonna have to walk that back a little bit. Cause I was thinking how I would behave if you put my job on the line, if like, and she was like, no, no, no. That's your reaction. I really need you to get the real reaction from Gigi. So that's how it came out. She's a softer woman than I am. Because I would have cut him behind the knees and he never would have been able to walk right again. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, I
but
like that.
yeah, girl.
Oh, honey, you kind of behind the knees. See, I cut them right below their butt cheek. Every time you
Oh,
sit
never
down, baby, you
heal.
gonna think
Never
about me.
like
Okay?
the way you think, like the way you
Never
think.
gonna heal. How you try to sit down? Go just split. Just gonna split.
Ask it for ulceritis, right? You're gonna be in the hospital.
Oh, oh my goodness. I can't be out here telling my secrets like
That's
that.
okay. That's okay. We'll,
Oh,
we'll,
okay.
we'll delete the tape. We'll delete the
Uh-huh.
tape.
Okay. Got to delete this. We got to delete this.
I'm glad you like Caleb, Monique. I like him too. He kind of geek, but I'm glad you like him.
I like them. I like little germaphobe.
He is a
I like
germaphobe.
germaphobe too.
I'm a germaphobe too, so that was a little bit of me in there. I'm a germaphobe too. Like I'm the worst. Like at hotel rooms, I bring like Clorox wipes and wipe the whole like the whole thing down. I have
We
yeah.
like Caleb, surprisingly, in spite
Mhm.
of. But again, I don't really know that I didn't like somebody. Like Geneva was awesome. Like the fact that she never like gave in.
Yeah.
I was just so floored
Well, it was
by
difficult. I would
oh
have gave in too. Right, immediate drinking. She was like, no, no.
she
She a
ripping
good
her
girl.
clothes and everything. And
He wouldn't have been able to get me off. I'd have climbed on that man
on
with both.
top of that man. Oh,
I'd
sir.
have climbed on him with both hands and feet, and he'd have been like, "Can you please get off me, ma'am?" And it would have been
And
bad.
no.
Clearly not.
Like, are you sure about that?
Right.
Is that really what you want? You know? But oh yeah. So I love them. Even like the hater. I can't remember his name. What was the hater name?
The
They called him the hater. The
oh
one that
god,
hired the Geneva.
oh
Uh,
my god.
okay. Him.
Don't make
We
me
know,
forget my own book. I have to
we
go
know
back.
who we talking about.
Yes,
I
yes.
even
The,
liked
the
him. And
boss
I like the
dude.
fact that Caleb like recognized that that man wasn't doing nothing wrong. Like
No,
he,
and
he really wasn't doing anything wrong. He was looking out, honestly, for everybody. He was looking out for that whole company. He was looking out for Geneva. He was looking out for Caleb, really. He was
he
looking out for that.
really
He was looking out
was
for everybody. It just
right.
came off bad, but
hmm
I
And
liked him.
Caleb was fresh off a lawsuit. He didn't need no more trouble, right? So I had to. I
And
like when sometimes we misunderstand folks' intentions because that happens all the time, right? And we go, you know what? They just not for me. But he was actually like taking up for her. You know
mm,
what I mean? So
yeah.
so yeah, so I really enjoyed that part. He did seem like a hater from her perspective, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. And I love how we got to see the two perspectives of it.
Yes.
It was nice that Caleb was the one who really even acknowledged it, you know?
Mhm.
So he like,
Yeah.
dang, I would actually hire this man. Like,
Yeah, he a decent dude. Caleb decent. He was just lying. He was like, "I'm gonna do whatever it takes. I'm gonna do my duty to get that booty." He tried so hard,
and did he out here
it
with the
did.
K-pop songs and
I
acting like,
hung up in there,
but see, that's
hung
that
in
money.
there.
That's
Mhm.
that money. You know what I'm
That
saying?
is, that
Like
is.
people with money, they can get away with a whole lot more than folks that ain't got it. Let's keep it 100
They
because
got time.
would no thousandaire been able to get away with
No, no,
that?
no.
You
He
not
just
gonna play
left.
me like
He
that.
like, I'm gonna just hang out here for until I get this girl. That you gotta have millions to do that. Because my
Okay.
boss would have been like, absolutely not. You need to come back to work. Like, you know?
Like,
So
what you want
that's that
FMLA for this woman? What is
right.
she doing? Yeah.
You out here on workman's comp.
Out here romances.
Sir, go back to work.
Okay, that order ends on the
Oh my
30th of April, baby. You got to be at work
exactly.
on
You
the
better
first
be back.
day.
You got
Chop
12
chop.
days. So
Better
get
decide
back
what you
in
gonna
here.
do. You gonna tell this woman the truth, or you gonna drop off the face of the earth and like you did. What you doing? Because you got to be at work at 8 o'clock.
It's certain stuff only millionaires gonna be able to get away with. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? That's
yeah.
that fantasy element.
Then be apologizing with big old billboards and music videos and stuff like that. See,
Yes.
yeah, that was nice.
That was one of my favorite parts. I see
Very.
Ebony has a question too.
Yes, I love the tech aspect of the storyline. Is this is Ebony.
Mhm.
And that was something else that was different than I'm used to.
Yeah.
All of it put me in the mind of undercover bosses.
Yes.
What made you choose tech in app creation?
I am always trying to showcase that Black women are brilliant. Um, you will most of the time see me put a Black woman in a position where she got money or she's like excelling somewhere. And especially in STEM and applied sciences. So, science, tech, engineering, and mathematics are sorely underserved by Black women. So we have a harder time getting into it. And then even when we're trying to um, study mathematics, go to school for economics, whatever it is that you want to do, the there's doubt there. Like we
Mhm.
can't possibly cut it. I hope that if a younger person reads this, they can see themselves in tech. They can see themselves in roles that are not, normally pushed to young Black women. So that's I'm always putting them in my most recent book. She's a physics professor, and so I always try to I love seeing Black women in STEM. I love seeing Black women, just excelling because we are so smart. And I think that again, we need to see ourselves in that light.
Mhm. Absolutely. Another Detroit author. She's really great about putting us in these types of roles, and
Mhm.
making us scientists, and
Yes.
kind of pushing a narrative that isn't always pushed for us.
Right.
um Goodness, I'm so mad at me for forgetting her name, but I'm terrible with names. But I remember saying to myself, like, I absolutely adore this book. I reviewed it.
Um,
Somebody in the chat
you'll
will probably,
remember the time. Yes.
just like Sam put in the chat that it was Clark. That's who we was talking about earlier.
Okay,
Clark.
cool. Thank you. Thank you,
Sam remember
Sam.
yours. Thank you, Sam.
Because
Now,
literally,
Ebony also says, I love them. And I especially love the banter between Dex and Caleb. It reminded her of lots of the conversations between her husband and his friends.
thank you. I think as women authors, we sometimes struggle with male relationships. You know what I mean? Like we do tend to lean towards men who are silent and brooding. When
Mm,
in actuality, I grew up around a bunch of men who they have that banter. They cap on each other. They don't play the dozens with each other. And that's kind of where that came from.
mhm.
So thank you. I'm glad I got that right. Thank you. It's tough. That is so hard to pretend to be a dude in your mind, you know.
I was like, so you don't actually like talk or research, you just observe them or just make it up?
So I do study personalities. I use Myers-Briggs personality traits. And there's all kinds of craft books on just striking the right tone for different genders, different races, things like that. So I actually do put together a personality profile. It's so nerdy, but this is what happens. So you
Tell
imagine
us.
a character, and you're like, the character shows up usually loud and unannounced, and they just pop into your head, and you're like, trying to figure out where they're coming from. I do spend some time talking to my characters in my head, and kind of like trying to get where they're going. Because unfortunately, my plot doesn't show up before the characters do. In order to help me with that and inform, like when I put them in a situation, how will they react? I study Myers Briggs, and I look for personality profiles. I know their sign, I know their date of birth, I know, and all of that doesn't go in the book, but it helps me figure out how they might react to a situation because no two people are alike, right? But we do have similarities if we share a personality profile. So, like, you probably have had a personality profile before where they kind of tell you, like, what type of person you are. If you haven't, it's called Myers Briggs, Meyers-Briggs. And you can kind of go in and type in, answer a bunch of questions, and it'll give you a psychological profile on yourself. So I do that for my male characters. For women, it's easier because I have those interpersonal relationships. I know a lot of ladies, you know what I mean? So that is a little bit easier for me. But for guys, it's easy, especially if they're not talking, because men don't talk a lot. They don't tell you what's going on in their brain. The psychological profile helps me. So I do that. Also, look at emotional wounds. So they have a book called, and I don't know if a lot of authors are on the phone, but they have a book called The Emotional Wound Thesaurus. And you can go in and look up, and I can't remember who wrote it. My God, I'm sorry. But you can go in and look up what the person is dealing with. So, like, if their parents died at a young age, it gives you actions that they may take, how they respond in certain situations, So, those types of things, those types of craft books help us come up with these male characters because it can be difficult.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, so it's a little bit of research. That's how you get to the heart of it sometimes. And then also, once you can kind of figure out what's going on with them, they'll talk to you more. So, we got whole split personality disorders going on with authors, but we're talking to them and trying to get them to open up. So yeah, so that's how I do it.
Oh wow. And I think that's the first time I've actually heard an author say that they do that. That is extensive.
It is, it gets a little easier over time. Like some authors are like, you know what, I just know, I just sit down, I write the book and I just know. I'm not at that level yet because I'm still with, note cards and boards and, documenting like personality profiles, what happened to them when they were 5 years old, like that. Like that's how I figure out my characters and hopefully it works. So
It does. I was gonna say your process works for you.
yeah,
Child,
and that's it.
the fast
That's
I
it.
read for me, honey.
Yeah,
I
get your process and just go with it. It might not work
mm-hmm.
for everybody.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Different strokes for different folks. This
That
this is
is true.
working for you.
Yes.
So you ain't got to change a thing, not for
I
nobody.
got
But
this.
you know, if it stopped working for you, that's another story.
Right.
But
At
far
this big age, like my daughter says, at this big age, I have to just do, I just have to do me at this point. So
just do you.
that's it. That's it.
Just do you. Who's your favorite character from this book?
I love Geneva so much. Like I felt like she was just like really trying, like I took care of my sister. I'm finally where I want to be. I'm gonna live my best life now. There's no more problems. I'm gonna wear my good shoes to work. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I am finally here. I've arrived. And here he come acting a fool. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but she was my absolute favorite. She actually appeared first before anyone else. And then I love the relationship with her sister. I love, the way she takes care of people. And I love that she's always looking for the good in other people. So yeah, that's my favorite. And I just adore her. She's so lovely. And I think I see so many young women like at the start of their career, like, let me make sure I do everything right, and I just love the soft side of her. So yeah.
I liked her too. Like I said, I really liked I liked everybody. Clark in his way, because he,
It's raggedy.
it looked a certain way, but it was what it was. It actually was a good thing. Dex, he was Dex was a good friend.
He is
'Cause,
a good
baby,
friend.
if Geneva had have said, you know what, I'm filing on y'all because this is out of order, she would have been very well in her
With
right.
get her right, cause y'all
You could
running
have lost your
game
job and everything for
and
your
my whole job. And my whole job, you out here
whole
cutting up,
business is
hmm
down the tubes, messing around with you because you
playing.
love strut.
Right,
But
right,
I'm
right.
gonna
You
do it
got
though. I'm gonna do it. Dang,
that's
you
his
got
whole
one
point
in
for real.
there.
That's true friendship right there. Cause I would have
That's
done it.
still
I'd have been like,
real.
I bet you won't mess my thing up. You know,
Okay,
Dex had
because
a difficult time with
it
this
wouldn't
father.
have been me. I'd have been like, Ebony girl, I love you.
But no, you
Nah,
can't
baby,
come
you
up
gonna
in
have to
here
figure
and
something
messing
else
with
out.
these young folks.
You gonna just have to go on and ask that man, over
Exactly.
to the bar for a drink or something.
Exactly. Why don't you just ask him on a date? If I could have stopped Caleb from acting a fool like that, I would have. But.
But then we wouldn't have had a book.
That's right. That's true.
So,
That's true.
you
We
know,
needed him to be crazy. We needed him to be a touch insane.
we did.
Yes.
So if this were to be a movie,
Oh my
who
God.
do you see playing Caleb and Gigi?
I see. Oh my goodness. I'm thinking of how they look and all of that. I see a younger Morris Chestnut, younger and thicker. Back when he was like Ricky,
Rick.
telling my age. So younger Morris Chestnut, like when he was back, if you ask Morris Chestnut right now, he gonna say we'll mess.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe
Sorry,
Michael
y'all.
B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan is
Okay.
is him because he kind of got that nerdy vibe. I love Michael B. Jordan.
I
Michael B.
would.
Jordan, not Morris Chestnut, because I can only see Ricky in my head and him sprawled.
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. I ain't doing it no more.
Got the baby sprawled out in the middle of the alleyway. Anyway, so Morris Chestnut, and I'm trying to think of a real if Summer Walker was an actress, I would see Summer Walker as Gigi.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. She is so. I just love Summer Walker. I know she problematic at times, but I love her
Make good.
so much. She makes fantastic,
Makes good.
fantastic R&B, right? So I love her. So yeah, I would see Michael B. Jordan. Maybe they should get together for real. Like Michael B. Jordan and Summer Walker would be a good couple, right? Anyway,
No.
that was not the question.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Why? You think
You,
she too
you
much
you
time?
see Michael B. Jordan and Summer Walker. We just got done talking about how problematic mama can be at times. Her three
She
babies.
is. She is. And
And
he
the
been.
second that something go wrong, he gonna be
He's still
out here
in
in the
his
song.
mama. He's still in
Breathing,
his mama
gonna
now
be on
too.
the album.
Yeah, he a
Um,
sweet baby. You're right. You're right. Maybe he can't handle that. That he can't handle. Oh, Meg the Stallion. Never mind.
with
I'm
who?
gonna stop matching. I'm gonna stop matching people.
Uh, uh, uh,
I'm done. I'm done. I'm not matching
no,
nobody else.
I'm Now, one thing you do, you can write some books, baby, but matchmaking, I don't think that's your call.
I make characters up that fit together.
Oh,
Clearly.
okay.
I
Okay.
just make people look good together. That's it. They look
We
good.
go stick to these fictional ones.
Yeah, yeah. But I think D Wade and oh my God, Gabrielle Union, I did call them for like being in it for the long haul. So that's my one couple I got right. My one.
Girl, the kind of
Before they got
conversation
together.
I want to have about, we can't though, because this is about
We
your book.
not, we not.
It's just,
He did have a whole baby. Anyway,
This is irresistible
that's
intern.
it. I'm done. Irresistible.
Irresistible,
That's it.
irresistible intern. Yes, that's what we talking about,
Back
huh?
at it.
See, the conversations be veering off into other stuff. I'm gonna get better at this. I
It's your
promise I will. But
personality. It feel like I'm sitting on the phone with my friend. That's
because you are, girl, we had to talk. We just kind of FaceTime, and that's
that's
all.
it. That's it. Yeah.
Okay, so we see, and when you said more chestnut again, that's who I called out in my review.
Really? You know what? I'm gonna go read your review. I don't read reviews because sometimes people can keep it really real.
And you be like, oh, wait a minute.
Girl,
Oh, okay.
that's not even how I meant that. But yeah, so so I
Well,
don't read them all the time.
we be preventing, honey.
Yeah,
So
I did enjoy seeing them on the page. So that was really nice because they were like super sweet and they had me gushing and just so happy. I'm just so glad you guys liked the book.
we did. Let's see, we got another one. It is. I had to step away
Okay.
from my keyboard for a minute.
Yeah.
What was the name of the thesaurus?
Let me get it's the emotional wound thesaurus. And I'm trying to let me look it up. Because
Can somebody type it in the chat, and then that way we can always kind of come back to it.
Emotional wound thesaurus. And it is by you can get it on Amazon. And it's a whole series of them. There's emotional wound, there's conflict, and it is by Angela Ackerman, and that's spelled Ackerman, and Becca Puglisi, Puglisi. And you can get it on Amazon. They're about $20, and they have a whole series of them. There's like the conflict thesaurus. There's the conflict, the emotional wound, and there's a couple of other ones. So they're all about $20. You can get them, and I love them because they set up in such a way that you can like go straight to what you're looking for, and you don't have to like read the whole book, but it does give you a lot of different ways that they could react, a lot of different things that would fit into that type of wound, right? So dealing with death and dying, grief, all of those things we like to inflict on our characters. And since my characters show up first, I need that like guide to say, okay, so I'm gonna put them in this situation. How might they react? So that helps to develop that out. That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now, if anybody might have missed it, spells or anything like that, well, this will be on YouTube. It'll be on the EyeCU reading page. It'll be on Tam Telling Tales page. So you can always, do a watch back, do a playback, so you can catch all of the details. We're gonna go for a few extra minutes only because I know we got started a few minutes late. So I do apologize for that again because we are reviewing Irresistible Intern by Aliza Mann.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be mistaken. This ain't about nothing else but Irresistible Intern.
It's not about Michael B. Jordan dating Meg Thee Stallion.
It's not about that little other book that's in the corner. No, it's not. It's just it's not. It's not. Okay. So Irresistible Intern.
Yes. Yeah, so but yeah, I really love writing the book, and y'all have just filled me up all month long. Y'all know how to make people feel fantastic. So I so appreciate you guys for that. Thank
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, um, although we're kind of coming to the close of our interview slash, just good girlfriend conversation.
yes.
Tell us about some of the things that you are currently working on, or any projects or
Oh
places
my
you'll be soon.
goodness. So I just released Course Correct. I gave away 5 copies in the group. So I hope you like that too. That is 2 professors also based in Detroit. Well, actually I have a lot of books based in Detroit, but this one is also based in Detroit, and they are at the fictitious Wayne University, and he is her proctor. She is from a horrible marriage. She is Nigerian, and her father is like, you need to stay in this relationship with go back to your husband, like what are you out here trying to do? And she decided to move back home and start her life again. Max is interesting. He's a history professor, and he is dealing with some grief, taking care of his sister's children because she is has a chronic illness. So he doesn't think he has time. He always needs to be there for his family because a long, long time ago he let them down. And as a result,
Mhm.
his brother ended up an amputee. So I think you guys will love Max. His brother is Smith. And the heroine's name is Quibina. So cute. Yeah, so she is Nigerian born and a Detroit homegirl. So I really enjoy writing that. And next up, I'm actually writing a saga that is, if you thought of like Yellowstone, I don't know if you guys watch Yellowstone, but Yellowstone meets Yellowstone, but blackity black. So, so it's about a lawyer who has to go home and take care of his dad, who owns a cattle ranch in Ohio. So that one will not be based in Ohio, and it is a saga because it will cover 3 generations. So it'll go back to his great great grandfather Elijah, eventually his uncle, who kind of changed the direction in the 20s, and then it comes here. So we start with the grandson, the great great grandson in current day, and then we go back through history. So,
Oh, I love it.
so it's Midwestern Cowboy series. So
Midwestern Cowboy series. And then, of course, we have the book that was given out to members of EyeCU Reading and Chatting. We want to
yeah,
make sure that you all are out there and you are watching, make sure you review the book after you have read it. She's
yeah.
so graciously giving it unto you. So
Thank
we just ask that you review, leave it there, and make it count. Cause you never know. She might pop up and read your review.
you. I might.
And she might read her review now. But in the meantime, we're gonna let these reviews work their magic and do what they need to do on the algorithm end.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. We need it so bad.
So we have a message from our president, from Ebony, and she says, "Thank you for rocking with EyeCU Reading for all of this month. Girl, you made EyeCU Reading believers of not hunting up front."
I will for sure give Ebony the next book. They will hit it on day one.
Just open the book up.
Over
Like,
there, they're
the first
hunting.
glance, be go.
Exactly
Just
that.
open the
I owe
book
you,
up.
Ebony.
There you go. And as soon as she read it and see it, she gonna know that's for her.
That's right. That's right.
That's the chapter
Exactly
right
that.
there. That's
Exactly that.
uh, and then you go
Oh
to
my God. Y'all are awesome. Thank you so much.
we look forward to read some more of your work. We encourage you to stay right here with us, in the chat, and feel free to come by and can keep on talking to us, the chit chat and everything. We will be sure to post some more information about National Book Club Conference again.
Yes.
I feel like that would be a great place for you and in the work that you do. Um, and Sam, of course, is saying a thank you too, because she is the person who selected this book for this month. So she is thanking you for joining us as well. And
Thanks
okay,
for
I think
having me. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you guys so much.
all right, y'all. Okay, we about to go. Bye.
Yes.